We have finally arrived. It is officially Vegas week. Bears Raiders on Sunday. We're getting on a flight tomorrow, but we're talking all Chicago Bears right now. It's the Brick by Brick podcast with Jerry Azumah and Lance Briggs starting right now. This is the Brick by Brick podcast with Lance Briggs and Jerry Azumah, presented by our good friends over at Circa Sports. Make sure you're hitting up the Circa Sports Illinois app for all your betting needs. Going to be telling you how you can make some money here later on with our DAAA Bets segment, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm your host, Greg Bragg Jr. Alongside me, as always, is Jerry Azumah and Lance Briggs joining us from his humble estates in Arizona. Looking forward to seeing you, Lance, when we head to Las Vegas here just a couple of days away.
We'll see you very soon, fellas.
Don't do nothing crazy out there now.
This is my crap fan right there. Yeah. Damn, 7. All right, here we go.
It's going to be bad if you roll like that.
For the house. For the house, fellas.
That's right.
Craps, huh?
It's going to be a lot of fun. There's no question. Look forward to seeing everybody out there. Shout out to True Fan Travel for making all the arrangements. We're leaving tomorrow on the flight, and we'll meet you all there this weekend. So let's get into it, guys. The vibe check. I know you guys, to start the show, let's just get it out of the way. I know you guys were really interested in the victory glizzies, being had at the Wiener Circle,
aka hot dogs.
You were
yeah.
You had plenty in your mouth.
You were circled by it. You were in the circle of glizzies. Huh?
Yeah, it was
a lot of glizzies in his face.
It was a Wiener Circle. All right, relax now. Okay, all right. This must be my payback for the burnt toast.
Oh, it's payback. It's payback.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun there. There was a lot of fans. Everybody lined up around the block.
The Wiener Circle, right?
Yeah, the Wiener Circle.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love the Wiener Circle.
Have you been there?
Yes,
I've been there. I've been there. I've actually had a milkshake too.
You've had the milkshake. I've heard about the milkshake. What's that, Briggs?
It gets messy sometimes.
No, you know what? I mean, people say hey, come on, why is everybody waiting around the block for a hot dog when you can get one for $3 around the corner and not have to wait in the line? But you guys know this is what that's what Bears fandom is all about.
That's right.
We are celebrating the Bears. It's not about the hot dog. And shout out to the hot dog. It was a great hot dog, and shout out Wiener Circle. But it's like
the community.
When the Bears are finally just show us some happiness.
Yes.
We want to embrace this happiness.
Everybody eating glizzies. Everyone's being happy,
Did you put a
being
little
merry.
ketchup on your hot dog? Did you put a little ketchup on your hot dog?
No ketchup.
You put ketchup on your hot dog?
I did not. I was surprised to see they had a ketchup dispenser in there when you go in, but no, they just gave it.
If you're 12 and under, then I feel like ketchup is you can do ketchup. But once you graduate to 13, no more ketchup.
No ketchup on the hot dog. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not a ketchup on the hot dog guy. But it was a lot of fun. We need more positive vibes like that.
Do you call it a hot dog, a wiener, or a glizzy?
I just call it a hot dog. I'm not really sure where the glizzy thing started.
Yeah, me neither. I'm too old for that.
It sounds kind of aggressive.
A glizzy. Lance, do you know?
What do I call it?
Yeah.
Well, I call it a hot dog.
Oh, okay.
What Braggs had was a glizzy. Okay?
What about a weenie?
Yeah, I mean, when you're young and youthful, I guess you call it a wiener. Like wiener schnitzel or something like that. But it was always been a hot dog. Like a hot dog's a hot dog, and a Polish sausage and all that
it's
stuff.
Glizzy
Whatever,
now, my brother. It's Glizzy.
Yeah.
That's what the streets are calling it.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, Caleb Williams gave out wieners to the city, so maybe they'll get off his. I won't finish that sentence here.
It's all good when you throw 4 touchdown passes, baby.
That's
so
right.
just keep it up.
That's right. That's right. Keep it up. It's going to be a big week here as the big weekend as the Bears take on the Raiders. We'll get into the blueprint on how the Bears can beat the Raiders here in just a little bit, but we have some different things we're going to get into first. And, I don't know if you've caught this yet on the social media sphere, but your former teammates here, Briggs, Spice Adams and Peanut Tillman, had a story about you, and I want to share this with the audience so they can see it. We'll all watch it, and then I want to get your reaction to this, Lance. And here is Lance Briggs and Peanut Tillman on Bears Den on the Marquee Network, sharing a little story about Lance Briggs and the locker room leader that he is.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Briggs had the worst speech I've ever heard in my entire football career,
trash.
like high school, college, and pro. It was the worst.
Trash.
We were losing to Cincinnati, and this is when Cedric Benson, he was now the running back of the Bengals, and I think we were probably losing like 30-something zip at halftime. It was really bad. Lance was in charge of the huddle that week because I think Lack was out. I think Lack was hurt that year. So Lance gets everybody together. He said, I usually don't say nothing. I usually don't speak out on these matters like this. But everybody bring it in, man. I got something to say. And I usually don't do this. Man, we gotta win. Bring it in, man. The worst speech I've ever heard in my life.
That was
it.
So
many pauses.
That was it. And everyone, when he said it, was like,
he didn't motivate nothing. He didn't motivate offense. But man, we lost worse after that speech.
I felt like
He came out and scored 5 more touchdowns after that speech. Lance Briggs, you're one of the worst motivational speakers I've ever heard in my life. I
trash.
Get that. Yeah, man.
Trash. But you still my dog, though, Lance. You still my dog. You still my guy. Just not for motivational speeches.
we lost worse.
Trash. We lost worse.
Let me clean up a few details on that, okay? Let me clean up a few details.
Here we go.
Number one, we did play Cincinnati that year, and we did get blown out. It was about 33 or 38-0 going into half, all right? But that speech didn't happen against Cincinnati. It happened against Arizona at home. We were at home in Arizona, and yes, Urlacher was hurt pretty much for that rest of that season. And when we went into the halftime, so we were getting blown out in like the first quarter and a half, and then for like a series, we shut them down with defense. We drove down, and I think we scored or got a field goal. So I was just pissed that we could pick 3 minutes out of the game to actually play good football. So when I went into the locker room, I was pissed, and I bumped into Lovey, and I told him, I was like, listen, I got something I got to say to the team.
You got something to say.
And Lovey was like, he shook his head like, oh, okay. So he rounded the team up like, hey, everybody come together. Briggs has something to say. All right? And I just vapor locked, man. And I yelled. I was like, hey, I got something to say. And I was like, we got to play better. And that's all I got to say. And I was like, damn. I know in my head that I heard that coming out a lot better than that right there, those few words. But I guess since you can't read my mind, the speech was like shit. Yeah, it was trash.
It was trash. And how did you play after that?
We got worse.
It got worse. It got worse.
I blame the speech. The speech was off.
It was your fault. It was all your fault.
Sure. Yep.
And you know what? You're taking ownership of it, so I respect that.
Damn right. I
respect that.
Damn right. I take ownership of that shitty speech.
I got to call the Bears. I'm sure they got some footage on this. We got to find this.
Now, Now let's go. Let me talk about that Cincinnati game because Cedric Benson was on the other side of that, and it was about 38-0 going into half. So in the second half, okay, they're driving on us, and they score again. Me and Lovey are on the sideline, and we're watching our offense play bad as well. And he's leaning over to me, and he's like, "Hey, I think we should try this and this on defensively, right?" And there's this picture of him turning and looking at me. I have my hands on my hips, and I'm looking. And right after that moment, I turned to Lovey and I said, "Listen, none of that shit's working. Like, none of what we do right now is working." You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those deals. And then he kind of looked at me and was like, "Yeah, you're right." You know? So I remember that, and that was a day Cedric Benson ran for about 15
over y'all.
He ran for like 150 yards. Yeah. It was
he ran angry.
He sure did. He sure did.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, Spice Adams was known for the pregame warm up huddle. Like it wasn't really a speech though. It was more of like a belly dance.
Like he would dance off.
He'd like pull his shirt up and he'd like smack his belly a bunch. That's what I remember being at the stadium.
We used to circle it up. And we would call somebody out each week, you know, and we call them out. We call out, let's say, Jay Cutler, you know, and during the week, Cutler would say, he's like, I don't want to do it. He's like, I don't want to do it. We'd rile them up the whole week like, you have to. Everybody that gets called out, you have to, you know. And so during the week, he's like, all right, I'll do it. But he'll get advice on what he's going to do. Hey, just do this right here. Just do this right here. Everybody will get juiced up for it. Just do a little dance like this. Just do this right here, and everybody's going to get excited. So it was fun. And then what happened was Spice did it. You know, he did it one week, and his was the best. So most weeks were like, Spice, you do it. I'll do it. I have something new for it.
He took it to a new height.
He took it to a new level.
So when you guys got Jay to go out there, did he actually do a dance?
No. So if you didn't know how to do a dance, you would circle like 2 or 3 times. Everybody would start getting closer. You jump up, and then boom, we all come in. Right. So that was kind of our. If you're really nervous, you don't know what to do. That's how you do it. You know what I mean? That's your easy way of getting out of it.
Before, what we used to do is the defense used to kind of circle around, and we used to dig our right foot in, like, and then our left foot, and they would give a hip thrust.
Always,
a super strong hip thrust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can remember all those.
Yep.
I remember
great traditions.
I can remember you guys used to chant, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but you used to go like, hoo ha, yes on baby, hoo ha, yes on baby. And I was in the I was in the stands. I could hear you guys yeah, exactly. There it is. So I still got the those are the days.
Those were the days.
You guys had good vibe, good camaraderie. So all right, so he calls you out, Briggs, on the speech, but do you have any memories of somebody else giving a speech, whether it was good or bad, from the locker room?
So a lot of us young guys and young guys at the time didn't want to give speeches. Nobody wanted to give speeches because we're all looking around like, who's going to screw it up? Like, as soon as you mess anything up, we're on your head right now, you know? So when I got there, a lot of the speeches were led by the older guys. You know, and that's who we kind of, you know, Reuben Brown was synonymous for leading the speeches. His was great. You know, it was always about Space Mountain, you know what I mean? And keep building and all that good stuff like that. So that's who we rallied around. When Reuben wasn't there, it was like, hey, who's going to do the speech? Hey, Briggs, you should do. I said, I'm not doing the speech. Tommy, I'm not doing the speech. It was a big fight for who's going to do the speeches. And so, and every time somebody did one, they messed up just a little bit. You know what I mean? As soon as they did, they're like, oh, what did you say? You know, and it was one of those deals, man. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of doggone fun.
We were the fun bunch.
We were the fun bunch, man.
Zoom, when you came into the league, who was doing the speeches?
Yeah. Shoot, when I came in, Big Cat, I think, was doing a couple of the speeches. You know what I'm saying, on the offensive side of the football. Yep. But we also had, like, Ted Washington and Keith Traylor, too. You know what I'm saying? So those guys were, like, the older vets around that time as well. So it was good. Like, it was fun. Nobody got too crazy. Nobody gave those inspirational speeches like Lance did.
Right.
But they were good though. They worked.
Yeah.
Help me. Go ahead, Briggs.
We had routines. There were things that we did on the way out. Lack and I would do a little rendition on the way, and then it got added to. And so, some of our speeches were typically really short anyway. Yeah, but we had routines that we did throughout the years, and it became, commonplace, for us. Everybody was expecting certain things to be said as we left that locker room. We're gonna call to Susie. We're gonna have us some fun, and we jumping around in the alley in the locker room on our way out to the field. So that was part of our tradition.
All right, so I want to bring up a couple games that you guys were a part of, and I'll start with you, Zoom. The Walter Payton, the game that you guys played when Walter Payton passed away.
Green Bay.
Right? Blocked kick to win the game. Brian Robinson, right? What was the message that day in the locker room or in the huddle? Do you recall any of that?
I'm not exactly sure of the overall message, the specific message, but everybody was locked in. Everybody knew about Sweetness and what he brought to the organization and to the team. And it was always about just heart, just, going out there and just doing the best that you can. Just, energy, heart, hustle, all of that stuff. So I remember going to that game too. And we were, it's funny too, because B-Rob, Lance, you weren't there for this one, I don't think.
No.
But
I was not.
This is right before you. But B-Rob actually missed the team bus when we were on our way to Green Bay. He missed the whole thing. So we were on our way, and he didn't show up until later on. And he finally came, and then we spent the night. It was a Saturday. Wake up Sunday, and we look at B-Rob right before the game. We're like, B-Rob, you owe us. You owe us. And he's like, I got you. I got y'all. So we were balling the whole game. I mean, it was a tough, hard-fought game, and it came down to the very last field goal. And we had to block it to win this game. And B-Rob, we were looking at B-Rob like, now's your time. You owe us. And B-Rob, I don't know what it was, but he got up, tipped that ball, and we won the game, and he was running around like a little damn kid. And we were jumping up and down, but he initially missed the team bus.
That's crazy. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He missed the team bus.
He said after the game that he felt like Walter Payton picked him up in the air.
Picked him up, yeah, lifted him up.
I mean, that's pretty cool, man. That's a cool story. It puts chills down my back. Good for you guys, man, because that was one of the ultimate Bears moments.
It was a great memory.
So, Lance, for you, I guess everybody's going to point to the Monday Night Miracle against the Cardinals. And when you talk about speeches, in the locker room, it ended up getting shared by the Bears down the road, but Olin Kreutz, bringing the team together at the halftime locker room, and there's footage for Bears fans to see it. For you and your memory of that game and your memory of that speech, maybe, bring us back to that night.
Well, I mean, defensively, you got to think about this. On our side of the ball, we were already humming. We were already thinking about, once we went into the half, that we're gonna do this. Like, we're gonna win this game one way or another. We're gonna win it. And Olin had a great speech. Lovey added on to that as well. But defensively, we, like Zoom said a minute ago, we were really locked in. Like, we knew what we had to do. And even in that first half, when they scored those points, looking at the mistakes that we made on that field, we're like, oh shoot, like there's so much that we can clean up, and then Matt Leinart, he set the protection the wrong way, and ended up getting hit. Mike Brown score, getting to that end zone. We're like, listen, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this on the defensive side. It wasn't something that was said. It was something that was understood. Mm-hmm. So, Urlacher was all over the field. He had something like 25 tackles, and shoot, he pushed me out of the way on a tackle, and shit, hell, I think I had about 17 tackles, and we started taking the ball away. It was a lot of fun. And it started building. It just started building and building and building. And at the, when it got to its height and Devin Hester goes back and all the people, everybody that had left the building, left the stadium that was coming back, and like, hey, the Bears are coming back. they came back to see, history, and it was a great moment. I didn't even see the interview until, I think, what was that, Monday night until Tuesday. I stayed in Arizona, and then I didn't see it until I went on the Best Damn Sports Show on Tuesday and saw it for the first time and got reaction. So it was exciting, man. It was a great time for us.
So I was watching that game on TV. Obviously, I wasn't on the team. I was watching it on TV. And what I noticed was that, like, you guys were huddled up on the sideline, and you guys were talking about taking the ball away. So with Loving, that's all we talked about on the sideline. I remember a couple times where Peanut would punch the ball out. We would recover it. You know what I'm saying? We'd come to the sideline. Everybody be happy. We'd be slapping five. You know what I'm saying? And then the coach would come over and be like, hey, guys, you guys happy about that? We're like, yeah. Like, we got the ball back. And he's like, nah. Like, your job is to get the ball and score. And score. Like, don't just be happy with just the takeaway. Take the ball away and score a touchdown. Like, enjoy this, like, little moment, but next time do it better. Yeah. So, we were taught that way. Like, it was pounded into our brain that we had to not only take the ball away, but we had to score. And we were really good at it. Really good at it.
Right. And some people don't understand about that, because I deal with this even at the high school level when I'm coaching, and I'm always like, scoop it and score, scoop and score. Well, if you miss it the first time, just fall on it. I'm like, no, scoop it and score. You have to understand how good you have to be mentally as a defense to say we always want to scoop and score. Like, if we don't get it, like, if we're scoop and score and we lose the football and they get it back, we're just going to take it away again. See what I'm saying? Like, we're just going to line up and we're going to take it away again, because that's how confident you have to be defensively to say, all we're doing is scooping the ball and score. If we lose it, that's okay. We'll get it back again the next play.
Right. It became religion for us. You know what I'm saying? Everyone on that football team, specifically the defense, we believed that we were going to take that ball away. And when we took it away, we were going to score. And before every game, our coaches were saying stuff like, you have to take the ball away for us to even get a chance for us to be, successful to try to win this game. Yeah. So we took it upon ourselves, and we would practice this too. I'm talking about, like, we would do like our career, go like Monday mornings, we go through our corrections, and we would do like a scoop and score drill. And that's how we kind of got our our cardio in as well. So we would do this all day long. So it was like a part of us. Yep. And everyone knew it was a part of us as well. You know what I'm saying? We were like looking at the offense like, hey, don't you worry about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, just put some points on the board. We are going to get the ball for you. And we were really good at doing that over a number of years.
No question. I mean, down 20-0 at halftime. And to come back, I mean, it's hard enough to come back to win 20-0 from being down 20-0 at halftime. To do it without scoring an offensive touchdown,
insane.
Is the odds of that are minuscule. Yeah. And I don't think any team in the history of football has ever come back from a 20-0 deficit at halftime to win without scoring on offense. And scoop and score by Mike Brown, Peanut Tillman, and then of course Devin Hester with a very special moment coming up the middle. Breaking free, Brendan Iambadejo lays 2 blocks on that kick. Yep. I'll never forget it. He starts the initial block that breaks him open, and then is all the way on the like 50 yards on the other side of the field from his first block is the guy to kind of body the last guy out. Yeah. And then a lot of people forget the Cardinals drove down, and then just like the block field goal, they missed the field goal because I mean, it was just fate on a special moment. So Olin Kruse with the halftime speech that day. Brian Robinson with the miracle, for the Walter Payton game. And Lance, you, of course, had a motivational speech where your team got blown out by 50.
Yeah,
but we want you to redeem yourself here right now. And Steven is putting you up to this. So what we're going to do, Briggs, is we need you to give a motivational speech to the Bear. Lock in right now.
Lock in. It's time to lock in. It's game time right now.
We want you to give a motivational speech to Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears for their game here against the Raiders. And
we're getting ready to come out against the Raiders.
Zoom and I are going to grade you on this. So this is your chance to redeem yourself. Yeah. Unless you're too scared to, of course.
He ain't never scared. Lance ain't never scared. Never scared.
So.
Okay. Yeah, we're ready.
All right, here we go.
We're ready. We'll give you a second, too.
Let's solo
you know what I'm saying?
I don't need a second. I'm ready.
So let's go, baby.
Hey,
I'm hyped.
Listen, fellas. Listen.
Let's go.
We're headed to Vegas, all right? Don't bet. But if you're going to bet on us, all right? Bet on us, doggone it. Because we're good, and we're taking the house down, damn it. That's it. That's all I got to say.
That's it.
There it is. Bat to ass.
Yeah. Listen,
Okay.
if you're gonna bet, if you're gonna go to Vegas and bet on yourselves.
That's right. Bat to ass.
B to A.
Hey, all right. Well, let's give our grades there. Jerry, I'll put mine.
That's all I gotta say.
You put yours. And that was a quickie.
Yeah.
It was a quickie speech.
All right. When you're ready,
We had a lot of
Jerry,
time.
I'll go. Here. Yeah, I forgot we only have one pen. All right, I'll go first. My grade is an A-. I don't know if we got the solo shot here. A-, short and sweet. Like I would have given it an A+, but it was short, but it was to the point, and I like the message. If you're gonna bet on us, bet on Bears. So I thought that was a good message. But just like you, Lance, with your professor grades, I'm always gonna push you for perfection. So I couldn't go A+, but Jerry,
Lance, you've come a long way since that last speech. You know what I'm saying? A long way. So I'm gonna give you an A. I'm definitely gonna give you an A. You know what I'm saying? A+, actually, because you've come a long way. You know what I'm saying? Like things have changed over a decade and a half. You know what I'm saying? So A+ for you, my brother.
No.
Keep up the good work.
Man. Hey, listen, you guys are the best, man. I work with the best guys in the business. Thank you, fellas.
Yeah. Well,
The professor would be proud.
The test is going to be if the Bears take this speech and if they win. If they lose by 50, then like you guys did against the.
Well, the grades can be
Bengals.
changed.
Right.
The grades can be changed.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout and give a shout out to our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to give you the blueprint. You got the speech to motivate to beat the Raiders. Now we're going to give you the blueprint on how we can beat the Raiders here coming up on Sunday in Las Vegas. So don't go away, and we'll do that for you here coming up next. Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season, whether it's spreads, props, futures, or in-game. Circa Sports has you covered. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Obviously, week 4 of the NFL season's coming up. We're going to be talking about how you can make some money on the Circa Sports Illinois app coming up on our fine segment, DAAA Bets, and make sure you're throwing down some money with Circa Sports Illinois. So download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Shout out to our good friends over at Circa Sports. We're going to be at the Circa Stadium Swim coming up here on Friday night in Vegas. Let's go. And I got some bad news for you guys. Winter will be here before you know it. Is your home's heating up for the challenge? Well, that's the question. If you got a plumbing emergency, call Four Seasons. An electrical emergency, call Four Seasons. Need a new hot water tank installed today? Call Four Seasons. Now is the time to schedule your Four Seasons furnace tune-up. Thinking about a whole home generator? We've got you covered. At Four Seasons, we guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. Save up to $4,000 on furnaces and comfort systems with Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Furnaces start at $39 a month. Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric has been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons heating, plumbing, air conditioning, and electric. And make sure you visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. All right, we are now going to give you the blueprint to beating the Las Vegas Raiders. We've been doing pretty good on our blueprint here these first few weeks. Feels like the Bears, they didn't take our advice against the Lions, but then it does feel like they did, here as the Bears took down the Dallas Cowboys, as we started to check some more of the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to keep at this and try to pave the way for the Chicago Bears to get back to 500 here before the bye. So, Briggs, you're up first as always. What are your keys to beating the Las Vegas Raiders?
It's simple. Hey, make them one-dimensional. They don't run the ball very well, even though they have Ashton Genty, they're proving that, listen, it's more than just having a great runner. You got to be able to block for him. You got to be able to open holes. You got to have a good scheme as well that fits him. And then number two, once you've stopped the run or made them one-dimensional, now our pass rushers must hit home. This means that you don't necessarily have to get a sack every play, but you do need to get QB hits. You need to get that ball out under 4 seconds. You need to make sure that defensively it's on time. So make that pocket uncomfortable, for Geno Smith. They do throw the ball well. They had a receiver that went for 140 yards last week. Yep, so we make them, we shut down that run. We make them one-dimensional. Now we have to play great pass defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Raiders lost 41-24 here last week. So they're certainly trying to figure out who they are as a team. They gave up 400 total yards of offense to the Commanders.
That's without Jaden Daniels playing, too. That was Marcus Mariota.
Yep. Yeah. And it sounds like their special teams is something that's been a problem for them. So they've got some things to work on. Their third down efficiency against Washington they were 3 of 14 on third down.
That is horrible.
That's not good. It's
hard to win.
All right, Jerry, give us your 2 keys here on the blueprint for beating the Raiders.
Well, mine is simple. I mean, for the offense needs to find a way to shut down Max Crosby. Crosby is just a game wrecker, and he is a high motor type of guy. So you got to find ways to just kind of minimize him as much as possible. I really like the way that Ben Johnson was calling plays, keeping the defense off balance, a lot of misdirection and things like that. So I anticipate a lot more of that happening.
Mm-hmm.
So the main reason is to slow this guy down. I mean, he is a game wrecker, so they have to figure out ways to just slow down Max Crosby and keep Caleb clean, because they did it last week. And if you can, stonewall the defense and keep your quarterback clean, good things should happen.
Yeah.
Good things should happen.
No question about that. It's not going to be easy with Max Crosby. He's a menace.
High motor guy.
Yeah.
High motor guy.
And Braxton Jones really did a good job here last week against Dallas, but this is another level of a challenge, right?
That's right. It's definitely another level of a challenge. High motor guy. You know what I'm saying? So every play he's going to have to be fundamentally sound. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to move him around as well. So they're going to test a lot of this offensive line. So it's going to be up to the offensive line to buckle down and make sure that they are aware of where he's going to be at all times and shut him down.
Well, and, honestly, and I don't know how much you guys have really keyed in on this, but I feel like, with this 12-man personnel that Ben Johnson has instituted, he's really been, because everybody keeps asking, where are the tight ends in the passing game? Well, he's got them blocking.
A
lot of times. I mean, even on that flea flicker for a touchdown, they were in 12 personnel.
Blocking.
And they were blocking, and only had 3 guys running routes. So 2 of them, really, if you look, Zacchaeus was open on the other side of that field, too.
Yeah, wide open, actually.
I feel like Cole Kmet has really had a solid start to his year blocking. I know last year at times it wasn't perfect, and I know Ben Johnson at the owners' meeting mentioned that was going to be a point of emphasis, and I think he's kind of answered the call a little bit so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, they both look good. Colston is actually surprised me with his blocking. You know what I'm saying? I thought that he would struggle right away, just right out the gate, but he's actually been pretty decent. Same with Cole Kmet. But I want to see them get more into the passing game. That's what I want to see. I want to see a rhythm with both of them or a type of chemistry with Caleb in the passing game. Obviously running game is very important, and we have to try to establish that to try to win games and slow down and manage the clock. But at the same time, we have really good tight ends, and they're big targets for Caleb to hit over the middle of the football field. And these guys can actually run. You know what I'm saying? They're not slow tight ends. So I feel like we need to test the seams. We need to test some deep over routes with them and get them loose. I think last week Colston had a 30-yarder or something like that. You know what I'm saying? To start the game. Yeah. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of a package where we kind of implement it and get that going with Colston or Cole Kmet.
Well, they certainly, I think, were trying, and I know Ben Johnson had said that it was on him to get the tight ends going just as much as people were saying the quarterback needed to as well, and got a few catches to Colston before he came out with a hip injury. He didn't practice yesterday, so we'll see how the injury report goes for him going forward. They did say after the game that it wasn't that serious. At least there were reports, I think, from Ian Rappaport or Schefter saying that he would be expected to be fine here going forward, but he didn't practice yesterday, so let's hope that he can start to get his way back onto the practice field before we get closer to this game on Sunday. So it'll be interesting, and Cole Kmet got a touchdown as well. So
that's right.
I think they were actively trying to get them involved, but they've been doing a good job blocking as well.
Points.
So your second point of emphasis for the Bears versus
It's real
Raiders.
simple. It's shut down Ashton Genty. Look, Ashton Genty came in with a lot of hype that they were going to give him the ball and they were going to be scheming different ways to get him the ball and get him going, basically. But he's been struggling the last 3 games. And, this team with the Raiders, I don't really feel like that they're really that good yet. They're still trying to figure out what their identity is, and their identity that they want to try to establish is running the football, but they've been unsuccessful for that. But they're going to continue to try that. I know Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly's going to stay with it. But Ashton Genty, I mean, I've seen a couple of plays where he has gotten momentum going, and he's actually, did a couple of nice little juke moves or actually trucked some guys. You know what I'm saying? So he could be a problem if he gets going. And that's the thing, is that we don't want to see him get going. We want to shut him down immediately and make this team one-dimensional, because if you make teams one-dimensional, you have a great chance at winning the football game.
Yeah, no
Well, the
question.
interesting thing for the Raiders is that the Bears we're not that good either. So we're both teams are still trying to find an identity. This is a game that it's going to be tougher for us, I believe, than the Cowboys. This team puts up. I think they're a little bit better up defensively, numbers wise. They've only given up 7 touchdowns going up. It's up to right now. And hell, we gave up 7 touchdowns in 1 game.
And I think that we're a little vulnerable, too, when it comes to stopping the run. Like last week against Dallas, you know what I'm saying? The game got kind of out of hand, but Williams was able to, be productive on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So, that's too much. We don't want to see, 5 yards a carry. That's just way too much. And the Bears are vulnerable of giving up that type of yardage. So, it's going to be up to the Chicago Bears to just kind of shut that down. It's going to be up to the defensive front to just kind of, reestablish the line of scrimmage and make it really uncomfortable up front and shut down these running lanes, because I feel like if Genty gets going and they get this thing going, then it could be a problem for the Chicago Bears. But we don't want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right when it's I think this, both teams can try to look at this as a get-right game in some ways.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the Raiders' offensive line has had trouble, and I know yesterday I think Pete Carroll was calling out, some of his guys hey, nobody's safe on this offensive line in terms of competition. Well, the Bears' defensive line still has to get going, so maybe they can against this Raiders O-line, but I think both of those units are looking at it all right, this is our chance to get going. Conversely, on the other side of the football, like you said, the Raiders haven't really gotten Ashton Genty broken out yet.
Right.
But the Bears' defensive run game hasn't been that great.
Exactly.
So both these units are looking at it okay, now we can have a bigger game, but it's going to be about who can actually step up and take on the advantage that you have against a weaker unit. And, it's going to be
the Bears defensively, they have to be ready for Ashton Genty. There's no secret that they're going to try to establish the run. You know what I'm saying? They have to try to establish the run to try to be successful. So it's going to be up to this defensive front to be very aggressive up front.
Yeah, Ashton Genty, week 1, had 19 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown. Week 2, he had 11 carries for 43 yards and no touchdown. And then here in week 3, 17 carries, 63 yards, no touchdown. So they're trying to figure it out. They gave him the ball more here in week 3, but it's kind of been the Geno Smith show for the most part. 362 yards for Geno is week 1. Week 2 was an ugly affair for Geno, throwing 3 picks, only 180 yards passing. But then week 3 against the Commanders,
they wrote him off on that game.
Yeah, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns. So they're kind of a Jekyll and Hyde offense here so far for the Raiders.
Well, I saw a really interesting stat on Ashton Jeanty. A lot of people are saying, oh, he's off to a slow start. Well, the stat I'm going to drop here, this came from Fantasy Life, by the way. It points to maybe the O-line being more of the problem. So Ashton Jeanty has 144 rushing yards this year and 146 rushing yards after contact, meaning on average he's getting contacted behind the line of scrimmage per touch.
Yeah.
Not good.
Well, the Bears got to take advantage of that, right?
Yeah.
You know, like
Sweat, Dio, Dangbo.
So that'll get that. Yeah, exactly. So that'll actually get me into my 2 points, and I'll come back to what the Bears defense can do here for my second point. But my first point of emphasis here is get Kyle Monangai more touches. You know, I personally think DeAndre Swift is more talented than Bears fans want to give him credit for, because everybody's just looking at him in a nasty way that he's not good enough and all. Okay, maybe there is upgrades available next year, but the reality is these are our running backs for this year. And DeAndre Swift had a breakout, you know, on the screen pass that only led to 3 points, but that's an explosive play. And you need those kind of plays on a football field. But I just feel like him and Kyle Monangai's roles are reversed. I would prefer Kyle to get more early touches to start to win that war of attrition. You saw the battering ram running back that he is. He knocked Kenny Clark out of the game.
Yeah, he did.
You know, and what's interesting about that run to me was he loses 8 yards on that run trying to break 4 tackles and trying to beat the whole team around. You can't do that. We understand that. He also knocked Kenny Clark out of the game on that play. And if not for that 8-yard loss, all his other carries, he averaged 4.3 yards a carry if you take that one out. Obviously, you can't, so he ended up averaging like 3.5 yards a carry, whatever. But my whole point of it is this is a guy that, in my opinion, falls forward more times than not, is a guy that maybe isn't going to get you too many 20-yard carries, but can get you those consistent 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And then when you talk about a change of pace back, let Monangai wear these guys out. Then you got DeAndre Swift being able to beat you on the outside. It just makes more sense to me. And, Jerry, you're a former running back. I don't know how you feel about this from my idea of smash then dash instead of the other way around.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but like for me, it doesn't really matter. I think Swift is the featured back, and I think that they have to give him a little more creative plays. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to see Swift a little more productive in the passing game. I'd like to see him in passing situations, and then more running situations we can bring into Monangai. But I think it's the third. We're going into our fourth game. It's taking time for this offense to figure out exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think as time goes on, they'll start to figure some things out. And you might be right. They might try with the whole Monangai to try to rush him early, to try to loosen up this defense, to get Swift, you know, out there in space against, you know, linebackers in one-on-one matchups.
I do like that you call him the Monangai.
The Monangai.
Briggs, how do you feel? I saw you kind of making a face during my analysis there.
Briggs is always making a face.
I mean, and even though you're not a former running back, we did see you, you know, shimmy shake a guy to the house, you know, against the Cowboys.
I actually am a former running back. Okay, I ran.
I'm just relax, okay?
You know,
everybody, I guess, is a form of running back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen.
Let me guess,
it
high
is what
school.
it is. You know what I mean? Chip Kelly recruited me. But anyway, listen. Whether Monangai gets the ball or not, listen. We have those two big tight ends. You know what I mean? They're doing a good job blocking. We've talked about that. So a commitment to running the ball, I think, is important. No matter who's back there running it. We talked about who the feature is. Monangai did run the ball hard. You know what I mean? I do like that. The commitment, I think, is more important than anything else. If we can get creative and get DeAndre Swift in space, I think he's ultra dangerous when he's in space because he knows how to make a guy miss. He can accelerate. You know, he's got that kind of speed that can get him to the end zone or turn a 10-yard catch or a 5-yard catch into a 30, 40-yard gain. So I think more of the commitment, you know, is important. Who's getting the ball? Hell, you know, throw the guy in there. Throw one of those two guys in there. We'll be fine.
You know who else I would like to see also get in the backfield is Luther Burden. You know what I'm saying? Luther Burden is dynamic. I mean, if you put him up in the backfield, I think that he can be productive as well. So that's something that they have at their disposal. I wouldn't mind seeing Luther Burden get into the backfield and getting a couple of carries as well.
Yeah. The Bears had 385 total yards on offense, but only 87 rushing yards here in this last game. So they certainly got to get it going. But they're defining 19-play drive to win that game. They had 11 straight rushing totals in that game. My final point, and I'll make it quick. We talked about it earlier. This run game for the Raiders has a tough time getting going so far. Well, you got to tackle, guys. Because in the Cowboys game, you're getting blown back after initial contact 6-7 yards sometimes. And I've got to see some more toughness in your tackling. You're getting to the point of attack, and then you're getting blown back 5 yards. And so I want them to take this personally here this week and start pushing these guys the other way. And it's an attitude thing. And there was just too much of that after the tackle where the Cowboys were able to take advantage. And while the defense only held them to 14 points, and that was certainly a great job, you get 4 turnovers, they were moving the football. So don't lull yourself into thinking things are fixed here. The Cowboys could have easily scored 30 points in that game. So that wraps things up for the blueprint here. We're going to get to bets here coming up next. We got to take a quick timeout, and when we come back, we'll help you make some money. Hey, guys, we got a special announcement. That's right. Coming up on October 26th, we are returning to Joe's on Weed Street as the Bears take on the Baltimore Ravens. Gonna be a fun game. Obviously, the Lions just took down the Ravens. Let's see if the Bears can take them down. Head to Joe's on Weed Street, and if you go to allchgo.com/events, you can get your tickets to this now and get them fast because they're gonna go quick. We're in the big room. If you went for our draft parties, they are great events at Joe's on Weed Street. So we're gonna have a lot of fun cheering on our Chicago Bears. Once again, that's October 26th. Come on out. We're going to be doing live post-game shows, hanging out with you guys, stressing out about the Bears, and enjoying some good times, good drinks, and good foods with our good friends over at Joe's on Weed Street. And, hey, before you get your tickets to Joe's on Weed Street, you should become a diehard at CHGO Sports. If you go to allchgo.com/diehard or use the QR code on your screen, you get a discount on events that we do, like our tailgates, like our draft party, like our upcoming event here at Joe's on Weed Street. So you have those opportunities to hang out with us for a discounted price. When you sign up, you get a free shirt right out the gate. We got a bunch of new Bears designs here in our CHGO Bears locker. We've got so many different things at your disposal when you become a diehard, including exclusive written content by Adam Johns, Adam Hogue, Mark Carman, Patrick Norton. Everybody's doing a great job. There's the shirt here, good, better, best, here on your screen. You can get that shirt for free if you become a diehard, and then you can get discounts on events coming up. So it literally pays for itself as soon as you sign up. So please do that. We appreciate your support. Head to allchgo.com/diehard today. All right. Now this brings us to our award-winning segment that we do every week, helping the fine people watching this program make some money, and that is with our good friends at Circa Sports doing DAAA Bets.
The bets.
That's right. We're breaking down week 4 of the NFL, and we're getting our lines from Circa Sports, Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's get into it, guys. We got a Bears Raiders tilt. It's the place where you go to make some money. You can go to Circa Sports right there in Vegas and drop your money and bring some cash back on the Bears here coming up. We'll be at Circa Stadium Swim Friday night. You can put your money down there. So let's take a look at this. The Bears Raiders. This is a pick'em.
Yeah, all right.
You like that?
Just screw that up. You got
This
it.
is a pick'em.
Nice
You tried to
pick'em.
throw me off with the penalty, the penalty kill. It's a pick'em. And the over/under at 47.5. So Vegas thinks this is kind of like a even score here between these two teams.
Yeah. I don't see it that way. I feel like the Bears are going to really put it together again and do another production that they did last week. Hopefully they do that. But I think that the Vegas is going to put some points on the board. I mean, last week Tucker went for, 3 touchdowns? And Gino was on point. I think he threw for what?
3 touchdowns,
300
300 yards, about 300
right?
yards and 3 touchdowns, yeah.
I think you're going to see a lot of that. I mean, if they don't get to Gino, then the ball is going to be in the air. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to take deep strikes down the middle of the football field. And like last week against Washington, they were able to connect. So the Bears, obviously, they deep strikes. And, Caleb was the person to spread the ball around to his committee. Yep. So I think there's going to be some points on the board. I like the over on this game.
How about you, Briggsy?
Well, this game, it says that if you're preparing for this game, you're playing the Bears. It says this is a game we should be able to run the ball. Okay, we should be effective running the ball. We have a first-round pick in Ashton Jeanty. He needs a breakout game. This is the game we believe that we can break him out for. Now, if they do shut the run down and we don't, we're not effective running the ball, what we do know is we can throw the ball as well. Like, we throw the ball better than we run the ball. However, this is a game that we should be able to run the ball against this team. They're not sound in their run gaps. We should be able to push them around. We should be able to control the clock. If that's the case, if they are effective running the ball, it's going to be real close. But I agree with Jerry. I think 47 points is just not enough.
Not enough juice.
Over.
You think it's over? So you got it over too, Briggs, or under?
Over.
Over. Okay.
It's going over.
Yeah, I mean, I actually do think it's going to be a shootout as well.
Yeah.
I listening to Ben Johnson talk the other day, he said that the amount of stuff they're able to put into the game plan from week 3 compared to week 1
yes.
is night and day.
Yes.
Like they said, they're adding way more to the playbook. And so I think this is where we really start to see who Ben Johnson is. And everything you saw from a scheming standpoint against the Cowboys, they had them on their heels all game. And that was without being able to run the football.
Exactly.
So I think it's going to get harder to figure out what the Bears are trying to do. I think the Bears certainly still have to establish a run. But what I like about Ben Johnson is he can get creative. And I think that 19-play drive did kind of show that, where they're not running the ball well, and yet he found a way to still run the ball 11 straight times on a drive.
Yeah.
Explain that logic. I think the logic of that is go ahead.
Are there any copyright issues? So let's say we see that red zone play that Detroit ran this week, and obviously Ben Johnson doesn't get credit for it, but are we looking for, because he's opening that playbook. Excuse me, he's opening that playbook. Let me know what type of creativity lies within that playbook. You know what I mean? So they're saying to Detroit, hey, listen, we're creative over here. We've been creative. We're creative without Ben Johnson. So now Ben Johnson is solo without them. He's moved on. How creative is that playbook, fellas?
Yeah. And I think he showed that a little bit with the flea flicker. They got.
I feel like we got away with one on the flea flicker. I mean, when he flicked that flea, it was way up there. It was way up there. It took a while for that thing to come back down.
Yeah.
I was like, we might be in trouble with this.
I actually kind of felt like it made the play cooler because it was like it was more dramatic. Like
Dallas's pass rush is very slow.
Backyard football there.
Their pass rush is very slow.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, because he flicks it, and then DeAndre Swift was still able to turn around and get the block.
Caleb was like, hurry up and come down. Hurry up.
That's how I was with the...
Just like how they drew it up.
That's how I was with the glizzy at Wiener Circle.
Don't ever do that again. Oh my goodness, the glizzy.
Right. Yeah, so let's get into the NFL slate for the week. Got a bunch of good games here coming up.
Yeah, we do.
Seahawks Cardinals is coming up here in just a few minutes, and that's going to be a good one here on Thursday Night Football. Yeah, for sure. see what Sam Darnold's all about. Cardinals looking to bounce back. I think they lost last week. And then
Marvin Harrison, where are you at?
Marvin Harrison, where
are you? Where are you?
Yeah, he's no Roma Dunze, that's for sure. Vikings Steelers is going to be the early game on Sunday morning. They're in Ireland. So when we're in Vegas, Briggs, Vikings Steelers kicks off at 6:30 a.m. Are you going to be up for that one?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that.
No.
I don't know about that.
It's a good chance.
Yeah.
It's a good chance. Good chance.
Yeah, I'll be
I'm usually up early. I'm usually up early on Saturdays anyway.
You going to drink a Guinness?
Steven is going to make me get up Sunday morning. We got to set up the set because we're doing live shows Sunday and Monday in Vegas at Mandalay Bay. And so Steven is going to be making me get up in the morning.
Poor you on a work trip having to work.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. In Vegas.
I've been trying to explain to
proper number 12.
Briggs, I've been trying to explain to Steven that my job on these event trips is to drink. That's my job. I'm being paid to party with
J-Mo,
the fans.
baby. J-Mo.
And listen, and you do a damn good job too. You take it seriously.
Well, you did.
Glizzies and drinks.
You did see me in Arizona last year, Briggs, on that Saturday.
Your golfing was outstanding. Number one. Let's talk about that. All right. I don't care how much you had to drink. Your golfing was outstanding.
Yeah. Now I got to just make sure I eat lunch this time. Right, Tony? Our head of content's over here.
Shotgun
just like,
and beers.
Yes, you're going to eat food, and no, we're not paying you to drink while you're there. But, hey, to each his own. We don't see eye to eye on this. I know I need to party with the people. That's what we're going to do.
You're a man of the people.
That's right, and I'll be in the pool. So I'll be in the pool.
I understand it.
I think the room we're going to be in, it's called a poolside banquet hall. So if it's too close to the pool, Steven, you're going to be in trouble.
It looks right onto the pool. Yeah.
It's very close to the pool.
So you're going to have a real problem getting me to work Sunday morning. Let's go back to the slate here. So we got the early game against Vikings Steelers in Ireland. Then Eagles Bucks.
That's going to be a good one.
That's going to be a really good one.
Let's go, Baker.
Yeah. Baker's, man, he's winning over a lot of people.
Love
Commanders, the Bears' upcoming opponent after the bye, take on the Falcons at noon. Browns versus Lions. Can the Browns pull off back-to-back upsets after beating
Let's go, Browns.
the Green Bay
Not
Packers?
Not likely.
Defense.
Yeah. And then you got the Ravens, Chiefs at 3:25, and then Packers, Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. So let's roll through some of the odds on the Circa Sports Illinois app so you can kind of see what the odds on some of these games are. We'll roll through them kind of quick here. You got the Seahawks, 1-point favorite, and the line set at 43.5 here. You got to put your money down quick because this game is kicking off in a matter of moments.
Seahawks.
You got Seahawks. Okay. All right, let's keep rolling through.
Covering the spread.
All right.
Marvin, where you at?
Vikings Steelers while Steven's setting up the set. We got Vikings as 2.5. Vikings 2.5-point favorites over the Steelers at home without J.J. McCarthy. Are you surprised by this?
I'm very surprised by that one.
I am too.
I'm very surprised by that one.
You're not, Briggs?
No.
Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is favored over Aaron Rodgers at Pittsburgh.
Steelers aren't playing very good defense right now. They're not playing very good defense.
Has something up his sleeve.
Okay.
I'm sure he does.
I'm taking the Steelers. I'm taking the
Steelers on that one. They're going to win that game.
Yeah. I mean, the Vikings looked good last week, but that was against
last week.
Joe Burrow-less Bengals.
That was last week.
Okay. So, Rodgers, I'm sure, has got something
got DK Metcalf over there.
Yeah.
You believe what you believe, fellas.
Yeah, we will believe.
We will. Don't you worry about that. We will.
And you just keep working on your speeches. Commanders, Falcons here.
Because they need work.
He bounced back today.
Well done, fellas. Well done.
Commanders are 1-point favorites over the Falcons here. The line set at 45.
Let's go, Falcons.
Let's go, Falcons.
Come on, Falcons.
I don't know. Is Jaden Daniels going to return?
He did get a limited practice in today.
So he's probably going to return.
Yesterday.
That's trouble. Inching him back.
And
that's trouble.
The Falcons looked horrendous last week in a shutout loss to the Panthers.
Yeah, I don't know,
Horrible.
man. Are they panicking about Michael Penix yet?
I mean, Kirk Cousins got some time in that game, but not because of who they prefer, just because of the score.
Interesting.
We'll see this bounce back game. We'll see. We'll see if it was a fluke or not.
And they already pulled the plug on Russell Wilson. Jackson Dart going to be starting for the Giants here this week. Let's get to the next game here. Browns, the upset darlings of last week, beating the Packers on a blocked field goal, making Packers fans crash out across the greater Wisconsin area. Well, the Browns
cover.
Yeah, Browns are.
The Browns will cover this.
Look at this line, 9.5 point spread.
They're gonna cover.
The lines are favored.
Better jump on that now.
Man, I would love to agree with you guys, but I don't know. I think the Lions have found their groove. They're kind of right back into the fold of last year.
They got Myles Garrett though, that's coming after him, and I think he's going to get home.
Did you guys see the audio or the video clip of Myles Garrett
coming in clean
the tackle? Did you see this? Did you see it, Briggs?
Euro step. Yeah, with the Euro step.
Yeah. And then the
very clean.
The offensive lineman for the Packers goes, "Run, Jordan! Run!" It was hilarious.
That was amazing.
That was great, and Myles took a kick out of that as well. That was great. All right, Eagles, Bucks, one of the best games of the week.
Let's go, Bucks.
Eagles are 3.5 point favorites here. Low total, 43.5.
Well, the big news here is Mike Evans not going to play in this game. He's got an injury. He's going to miss 2 or 3 weeks, they said.
Ooh.
That changes things.
I mean, it's
sure does.
already.
That changes things.
Is that good?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Eagles, y'all.
Don't do that again.
All right, let's get into the next one here. Ravens, Chiefs. Ravens are 2.5 point favorites. See, I'm getting good at this, guys. Ravens, but then, so explain this to me, Steven. Like, why is it minus 120 for the Ravens, but even for the Chiefs?
That means more money's been going on the Ravens. So until that line moves to -3, it's going to make the number closer to a even money bet. Which, I mean, Chiefs at home, 2.5 point dogs. Patrick Mahomes is a home dog. Doesn't happen that often, but very, very good record at not just winning the game, but covering when he's in that situation.
Take the Chiefs.
You taking the Chiefs? What about you, Steven? What are you doing?
I always go with Mahomes. I'm a big Mahomes guy. So I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, Ravens are 1-2 on the season.
They can't really figure some things out either.
Well, I mean, if you remember this was last year's season opener was Ravens-Chiefs, and Isaiah Likely just barely out of the over the end zone line there. Yeah, and that was the difference in the game. So, I mean, this game, I mean, these two teams are about as evenly matched as you could probably get. Yeah. I'm taking the home team.
I picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl before the year, and they always, them and the Bills, they just always seem to fall short.
Yeah.
And it feels like the Bills are starting to get over the hump on those games. But man, they just seem to never have that luck at the end of the game that you need that is going to win you a championship.
But with this Ravens-Chiefs game, I mean, the Chiefs normally play extremely well in games like this, contests like this. So I think that the Chiefs defense is going to come alive, and I think they're going to not shut down, the Ravens offense, but I think they'll minimize them as much as possible.
Briggs, did you watch that Ravens game here the other night against the Lions?
Yep, I sure did.
What do you think of of what's going on with Roquan Smith? I see a lot of chatter of him, like Ravens fans starting to get irritated with his play. I don't know what you're seeing out of Roquan. I know Bears fans always keep an eye on him because they wish he was still here in Chicago.
Well, they played against a very good Detroit Lions offense. I think there's a few plays where you see Penei Sewell and the young guard that are next to him just doubling up and walling up to the second level. When you have guys and they have a scheme that works the way that theirs does, a player like Roquan can be engulfed. And there are plays where he definitely got engulfed off of a great job on the double up to the second level. They really walled the run game and allowed for they did it really fast. That can be hard. I mean, it just obviously you got to become a ball player as a linebacker. You make your adjustments as the game goes on. But I also saw him running around making plays as well. Like it's not lopsided that he's just getting engulfed or he's just losing on plays. Roquan made plays as well. It just maybe, there's a standard for him. We talk about these standards. Different guys have different standards. So the standard for him, and I'm not there every week, maybe they feel like he's not hitting the standard that they expect of a Roquan, who's considered probably the first or second best linebacker in the game.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to what I think we got one more game here to look at, and that is the Packers-Cowboys as Micah Parsons makes his return to Dallas.
Boy.
Jerry's not giving him a video tribute before the game. It might be a mistake. You could have softened the blow a little bit with a nice little video tribute. But I don't know if there's I don't know if there's any saving the Cowboys at this point. As the Packers are. Go back to that. I'm sorry, I lost it.
You know what's going to happen.
6.5 point favorites on the road. Line set at
Dallas
47.
has this big stick. Parsons has the big stick. Right now.
Seriously,
it's going to be personal for him.
What's the tribute that he needed?
Well, give him a little shout out video for being a good player for the team. A fan favorite.
Really?
No. No.
No. I don't. That's not, to me. That's not locker room material. It's not locker room material that they didn't give you a tribute video when you left because you played so well over your years. Get out of here, man. Play some football.
Yeah, we don't do that in the NFL.
How did the NFL know to schedule this for Sunday Night Football?
Huh?
How did the NFL know to schedule this for Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, I know.
Like before the trade. Come on.
The script. No, it will. And
he was there for 3 years?
What is the prop going to be for Micah Parsons sacks in this game?
I'm going to go 2+ for him. I don't know what that line is at, but I'm going to take it when I see it.
I'm going to take it. Take that. Yeah. Take that bet.
You combine them losing to the Browns, so then they're pissed off from that. Then Micah's incentive against the Cowboys. And also, by the way, the Cowboys suck. And they have a bunch of injuries.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb's out now.
Yeah.
They don't have their center.
Yeah.
They don't have Deron Bland. I don't know what's going on with Kenny Clark after that game when Kyle Monangai cracked him. So that's the Monangai. Thank you very much.
Green Bay.
So it's going to be
be
bat to ass for Micah Parsons on Sunday Night Football, and we'll be in Vegas, and I will be having beverages with our good friends. Compliments of True Fan Travel will all be there. Briggs will be hitting the craps table. I'm going to be swimming in a fountain somewhere after a big Bears win. It's going to be great. It's going to be exciting. And Steven will be working.
Make sure you have on your floaties, your arm floaties. I don't want you drowning.
Yeah, don't tell. If Corey was here, I'd know.
His little pin for his nose.
Yeah, if Corey was here. And a couple of glizzies. All right. Well, that wraps things up for today. Shout out to Lance Briggs for bringing the speech to the team. Excellent speech. Great job. Bounced back in a great way. Thank you to everyone.
Bet on us.
Yeah, absolutely. Bet on Bears. Bet on Bears all day long. And maybe throw some money on 55 and 23 as well.
Yeah.
That wraps things up for today. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We appreciate every single one of your support. And we will see you in Las Vegas. We have a lot of great stuff planned for you. If you're in Vegas, Friday night we'll be at Circa Stadium Swim. All you have to do is wear Bears gear. You get in for free. We'll be doing live shows on Sunday and Monday at Mandalay Bay. It's going to be a lot of fun, so looking forward to that. So thank you to Jerry Azumah and Lance Briggs, and, of course, Stephen Nicholas behind the scenes running the ones and twos. Enjoy Thursday Night Football, and we will see you on Sunday for all the game day coverage. And as I always end these shows, keep your head up. And always, bear down.
We all silly like the mayor.